the black. Tell them I ain't coming back. Turn the land for the sea. You can't take the sky from me. There's no place I can be since I found surrender.
So you saw part one. We finally starting to do some upgrades on this CZ, and as the title says, new trigger. Went with a CZ457 Timney trigger. It is not their flat face trigger. It is their more curved style trigger, but it's already installed because YouTube doesn't like you to install things. I don't know. So, but you can kind of see there. It is curved, but it is flat. I have a Wheeler trigger gauge. The factory CZ was 3¼ pounds. Factory, didn't touch it. This one, factory, haven't touched it. Around 10 ounces. So it's tremendously better. I won't say, the CZ trigger out of the box is probably the best rimfire trigger I've ever messed with. 3 pounds, solid trigger. It just has weight, is the best way I can describe it. It's just a heaviness to it. It's not truly heavy, it's just got a heavy weight to it. This one, pull that out. You can see it is empty. Magazine on the side is empty, so there's no ammo. But stupid light. So we're going to do another testing with the same ammo. It's been 10-15 minutes maybe. So the barrel's not even hot yet, which is 22. It's not going to get extremely hot, but we're going to sit down here in a second and send another 5-round volley. See you on there. That's good. So we're back down here, same box of ammo. There was 20 rounds in it a while ago. Now there's 15. And so this was just one of the boxes I had left over. We're just trying out to see if there's any actual inherent accuracy gain by going with a barrel trigger. You're automatically gonna have less movement in the gun when you're going from a 3-pound trigger to a less than pound trigger. This is probably sitting around the 10-ounce mark. I'd love to get a digital scale on it and see what it's actually pulling at, because this is just a spring scale. But it is under 1 pound. So I'm gonna guess around 10 ounces, 12 ounces, something like that. But also, I don't know if this is gonna be stage 0, because we literally took the stock off and the barrel action out and put it back in, screwed everything back down. So let's see. Yeah, it's moved, so I'm just gonna hold it in the same spot. That looks pretty good. I still see one flyer. Almost just like the first one, there was one flyer. But the other 4 look like they're touching. Let's go see. Okay, let's get this straight. So you saw that. There was still one flyer, just like before. But, okay, here's your first group. I'll show that. So I was aiming about here. You see where the 3 cluster was? That was the first shot. That was the second shot. The third just clustered up. So let's go over here. That was my first shot. But you can see the other 4 right on top of each other. These 2 in the same hole, these just left. Now, I was actually aiming right about here. So it is just a little bit to the left, just a hair to the left. So it actually didn't even shift any really and truthfully. That's where I was holding. And I mean, I wouldn't say the group opened or closed, really and truthfully. I think that's going to be about the par for course right there. Those 4 rounds right there, that's probably, I'm gonna have to get a measuring device out, but my finger is about 1 inch, and that is half an inch, maybe. Yeah, about half an inch right there. Same thing with that. That's 3 on top of each other. And with that, 1 out to the right of it and to the left of it, you're talking still about 1 inch right there. Even with those 2 flyers, it's about 1 inch. And then this one right here, if you discard this one, that right there's half an inch maybe. But that's the first part, kind of. The first part is showing you what it does with the factory trigger. Now that we've upgraded triggers, I can see what it's doing now, and it's a little bit cleaner. The trigger's so much crisper. It's just that nice little click instead of that weight being pulled. So I'm really digging that trigger. This is the first 5 rounds I put through the gun with the trigger in there, and I absolutely love it. I wouldn't hesitate. Actually, one second. Get out of there. We got a stuck case in there. These are actually awesome. If you don't know, Hub City Outdoors actually 3D prints some CZ magazine blockers or whatever, they're safeties. So when you're at the range, you can just toss that in your gun. I got to put a piece of bungee cord right here so it loops in there, so it locks it up so it doesn't move. But get with him if you want to get something like that. Great product. But that's here nor there. Like I said, first upgrade is that CZ trigger. That trigger, the factory trigger was good, but I could tell I was pulling some shots just because of the weight of it. It's not a bad trigger. By no means is that a bad trigger. You could spend the rest of your life shooting 22 NRL or any type of 22 match with a CZ457 and be completely fine with it. I just wanted a little bit more, so I jumped on this chance. The next upgrade, hopefully, whenever I want a 50% off cert for a certain chassis system. And once I get it, I'm gonna go ahead and call them, order this chassis system, because the Boyd stock has a little bit of flimsy. I have to run it all the way out. If you run it in, it's not gonna be as much, but for me, I have to run it out. I'm a little bit gorilla shaped, so I have to run it out pretty far. That's the only downside to this stock, really and truthfully to me, is the rear butt plate. It needs to be a little bit more sturdy. You can put a set screw in there and actually tight it in. And we've actually thought about putting a plate in. That way it's just one solid piece from stock, plate, butt pad. And then that way there's no wiggle room, and we could add a little bit of weight to it. And then also adding some type of Arca rail on top would be amazing on this rifle, because it's way too light. It's like 6 or 7 pounds. It's way too light. It needs to be around 14. And that's where I'm gonna go with this new chassis system. So wait till part 3, whenever part 3 comes out, I'll have another video with some accuracy testing between the 3, and I'll actually keep that target so you can see the difference in all 3 shots. I'm keeping those flyers in there. Those flyers could have been me, could have been the gun settling, could have been anything. But you can see how tight they are, and it's a pretty good group. I'd say about half inch with this gun right now at 50 yards. So that'd be about an inch group at 100. So you can't ask for anything better than that. That trigger is just going to help me out of the gun, so the gun is more accurate. It's the best way to say it. It's not really improving the accuracy. It's just allowing me to get better accuracy out of what I'm capable of, because it's more influence I'm putting on the gun. So y'all stay safe out there. See you in the next one.